faggot, queer, homo, gay. I have heard all these slurs whispered behind my back and said directly to my face as early as the age of 9. I didn't know what they meant, but I did know that people thought I was different, and therefore I wasn't valued. As I matured, aka hit the fabulous stages of puberty, I noticed the musculature of men and wanted to look more like them. So I joined a gym and started lifting weights, and I joined a competitive swimming team, desperately trying to gain muscle mass and look swole. But did I want to look like them? Well, I mean, yes, I did. But I then realized that I want to be with them. In August of 2000, I entered Jesuit High School, an all-boys Catholic college preparatory school. Its mission to create soldiers for Christ and its culture of toxic masculinity was embodied in our 1940s military uniform: khaki shirt, khaki pants, khaki web belt with brass buckle, and black military shoes. Students excelled if they fit the Jesuit mold: athletic, scholarly, and devoutly Catholic. I wanted to succeed, and I certainly didn't want to hear those slurs again. So I suppressed my sexual orientation and became what you wanted me to be. I increased my swimming practices to 7 times a week, swimming at 5:30 in the morning on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then again at 5 p.m. I was selected for the varsity swimming team. I even placed at state and regional competitions. Athletic, check. I took every advanced placement and honors course, studied Latin and Greek because that's what the smart kids did, and scored A's across the board, except that 1B in geometry. Thank you, my friend, Janet Tedesco. Scholarly, check. I revived the Christian Life community and became its president. I also joined the famous Pro-Life Club and prayed in front of abortion clinics on Saturdays as women sought treatment. To this day, I regret and feel ashamed of what I did to those women. Devoutly Catholic, check. In some, I fit the mold because I wasn't myself. Then my reawakening happened that one magical, life-changing summer. The summer before my junior year, my dad took the family to Volcano National Park in Hawaii. We stayed at this breathtaking resort that had restaurants on site. And at one of these restaurants, I met Jason, a 6-foot blonde high school senior waiting tables for the summer. Every time he poured water into my glass, I noticed the way that his biceps flexed. Every night thereafter, I'd leave my hotel room and explain to my family that I was going to read. I wasn't exactly lying. I mean, I did read, but I waited in the hotel lobby of the restaurant in hopes of catching Jason as he left his shift. And one night, my plan worked. Thus, I used strategy before even entering Ross. I caught his attention and he chatted me up. We talked about our schools, our sports. He surfed and I swam, and my time on the island. I explained I loved seeing the island from a tourist perspective, but really wanted to see it from a native's point of view. He took the bait and asked me to hang out with him the next day. Of course, I said yes. That morning, Jason picked me up in his red Toyota Camry. We drove to this beautiful state park, and as we walked through the park, he brushed his arm against mine and gently placed his hand on my shoulder. We finally reached this breathtaking waterfall with a large pool of water at its base. We jumped into the refreshing pool of water. He slowly approached me. My heart beat so loud I could hear it. He wrapped me into his arms and kissed me. I trembled, and then I kissed him back. He asked me how I felt, and I explained to him that he made me feel handsome, he made me feel whole, and that this felt right. He hugged me and kissed me on my forehead. That night, he took me to his favorite restaurant, one that happened to be on the beach, and he shared some advice with me. Thomas, life is too short to worry what other people think of you. Find out who you are and do it on purpose. Live authentically and unapologetically. After dinner, we danced cheek to cheek on the beach as the summer breeze blew through my hair and the sunset kissed my skin. Midnight came and my date with Prince Charming came to an end. He dropped me off at the hotel, kissed me, and said goodbye. The next day, I returned to New Orleans. He changed my life. The next month, I started my junior year at Jesuit High School. Every year contained Catholic teachings, and this year was Catholic morality. Naturally, we discussed the infallibility of the Catholic Church and that homosexual acts in and of themselves are inherently evil and that Catholics are to love the sinner but to hate the sin. Most days I felt so nervous and tense I could barely stand to be there. I felt heavy and weighted down, unlike my time with Jason. I hid away from my friends for fear that they'd find out my secret. And then one September night, my mother calls me into her home office and asks me why there's over 100 phone calls to Hawaii. I couldn't lie to myself anymore, and I couldn't lie to her. So I told her the truth. Mom, I met a boy in Hawaii, and I like him. And I miss him. I miss him so much, I wish I could be with him. And I guess this makes me gay. And she responded, Thomas, no matter what, I will always love you. In contrast, my friends responded like warriors for Christ. We were at a friend's house after our annual homecoming in October. They asked me why they hadn't seen me after school, and I shared my secret. The next morning, it spread like wildfire across Jesuit. Fire and brimstone came down upon me, and I heard all those slurs behind my back and to my face. Faggot, queer, homo, gay. My friends didn't speak to me at lunch or even look me in the eye. Ashamed, disappointed, and unwanted, I left and ate my lunch in the bathroom. 4 years of friendship, literally down the drain. My swimming team ridiculed me with those same ugly slurs. I tried to stay and focus on the sport, but couldn't. I quit. 6 years of competitive training, both mornings and nights, discarded. The next day, Father Hermes excommunicated me from all Christian extracurricular activities, and he highly recommended that I keep my head down and stay quiet unless if I wanted the bullying to continue to follow me. Feeling abandoned, betrayed, and hopeless, I stopped at Walgreens to pick up some sleeping pills. And then I did the same at Rite Aid and CVS. I raided my parents' liquor cabinet and found Grey Goose vodka. I climbed the stairs to my bedroom and locked the door. I took shots of vodka and some sleeping pills and continued to do so as Josh Groban's Vincent played on repeat. The next thing I remember is the bitter, slimy taste of tar, an agent used to absorb all the toxins that I had put in my body. I spent the next 10 days in a behavioral health unit, including Thanksgiving. As soon as I exited, Jesuit notified me that I was to take my final exams in the next 2 weeks. So I did as any fabulous gay man would do and bought a plane ticket to New York City and witnessed Idina Menzel defy gravity in Wicked. After I settled down, I negotiated a leave of absence from high school with my exams to be taken in January. I began to see a psychiatrist and a counselor to help me navigate my new identity, find joy in it, and treat my depression. I survived the rest of my junior and senior years, and my hard work paid off. I graduated in the top 10% of my class and earned a full tuition scholarship to Tulane University in my hometown. That's where my life began to change for the better. As I arrived on campus, I remember what Jason told me: find out who you are and do it on purpose. I later found out that Dolly Parton said that first. I took classes that I wanted, joined a water polo team that didn't care about my sexual orientation, and I went to dances and events with other gay men and actually danced with them. I felt like I belonged, and I did, because I was myself. I didn't have to fit somebody else's mold. Now I'm at the Ross School of Business, where I have opportunities I never dreamed of when I was a junior in high school. Thank you, Sujan and Diana. Mom, I made it to my 18th year of schooling and things are going great. I get to nerd out with my healthcare fact group and in the health and life sciences club, where nerding out is the norm. Thank you, Stu Kier. I go cycling in the astonishing parks of Ann Arbor. I feel supported by the Out for Business board. And last but not least, I feel supported by my section mates. And yes, it's true. Section 4 is the best in terms of numbers of laughs and awards given. The University of Michigan, the Ross School of Business, this is my home. So when I feel the breeze blow through my hair or the sunshine kiss my skin, I remember Jason's advice to me: live authentically and unapologetically. Life's too short.